Hello everybody, BigPlanes here, and today I have a pretty exciting update for you on my custom LEGO British Airways 777-300ER. And I have made a lot of progress, and I mean a lot of progress, since the last time you saw this, which was actually only about a few days ago. So we're moving quick here, and yeah, big updates. So I'm going to dive right into all the progress that I've made on this thing. And before I get to the obvious progress, which is up here on the nose, I want to talk about some of the more subtle things that I've done on the wing that I promised from the last video and that I've come through for in this video. So first thing you'll notice here is that I finally installed the emergency exit arrows across the wing, as well as these large black stripes, or these horizontal stripes on both sides, are finally installed. I had to wait for some parts to show up to do that, and they are finally in. And these, both of those, the black stripe and the exit arrows, are specific to the 777-300 series. They are not on the 200. So that is a change that I had to make from my previous plan, which was making this into a 777-200. So I'm pretty happy with how those turned out, and I think they look pretty good, and they are finally in. So yeah, I finally got those installed, and I still unfortunately have yet to replace these red brackets with gray ones, but I'm still just waiting for that order to come in, so it may be another little bit longer because that order is taking a while to show up. So now that that's out of the way, it's time to address the elephant in the room, which is the fuselage for the 777 is finally taking shape. Now, some of you guys who have been following this channel for a little while may actually recognize this fuselage cross-section from that of my 747. And yes, indeed, it is actually exactly the same design that I used for my 747. Obviously not the hump part, but the part that was behind the hump. And a lot of you will think, oh, well, that's lazy, this is just recycled, blah, blah, blah. And actually, this is a cross-section that can be used pretty much on any wide body that has this diameter, pretty much. And even when I built my 747 back in 2019, back in late 2019, around this time, I knew that the cross-section I designed for it could and most likely would eventually be applied to a 777, because I just really liked how smooth it looked, how sleek it looked, and how durable it was, especially how durable it was, because I was very happy with how it performed on 747. So it was only reasonable that I would use it on a 777 at some point. So I have gotten most of the fuselage in for the nose. Obviously, I still have yet to make the nose. That will be the next update video, but I have basically extended it from right above the wings right here. I did not extend it all the way back because you need a little bit of overlap in order to actually be able to lock these into place without having any breakage, because you don't usually want to put the connection point or the point where it disconnects right here on the same spot as it is on the roof, because that's just not very stable. So I decided to overlap it like that. But you can see that I have gotten it in, and this took a long time. It was very repetitive, unfortunately, and you can see that it's the exact same design underneath, except on this side it's in dark blue. And I'm going to point this out real quick. This right here, this where you see a little bit of a cutout, this is actually the cargo door, so it works just like this, and you can see that. I'm thinking that I'm going to have to probably make this a little lighter because it wants to close on itself, so I'm probably going to have to lighten this up a little bit, but the design is in, and I'm pretty happy with it. So yeah, that works pretty well. I just think I'm going to have to take some pieces off of it because it's a little bit on the heavy side. So yeah, I have also, something that you are probably noticing right now, is that I also have been able to install lights. So this right here is the strobe light, or the beacon light. I don't remember which one is which, but it doesn't really matter in this context. This one is installed, and more impressively, in my opinion, I have been able to install the cabin lights. Yeah, look at that. Now, this is something that isn't new to this plane. It's been on some of my other models before, but I just really liked this view when I built it, and I was just really impressed when I saw this. you can see that we have our scale representation there as in Homer Simpson, and he's just sort of been hanging around on this model, helping us to determine just how large this thing really is. But you can see that I have been able to install the cabin lights in this, and I am very happy actually with how these have turned out. And I will be running the cabin lights from the very front of this all the way to the very back. In fact, I will come around the side here. Oh, that's a bit of a walk, but all the way back here, you can see that there are also cabin lights right here, like that. So you can see we can look out that way. You can see them mounted in the ceiling there in the cabin. So yeah, and the other cool thing about this is I'm not sure I'm going to show it to you in this video because I'm holding the camera in one hand, and I would have to use two hands to do this to remove the roof. But there are no cables connecting the roof to the floor here. You can see this cable right here is temporary. This will be replaced with something else you will see later on. It's going to be a cableless connector where it uses the magnetic lead on or a copper pin on this side and a acceptor or receptor on this side. It's a little bit complicated, but essentially the short answer is that I won't have to connect cables any longer, which is very nice for transporting this model. It's also nice to be able to take the roof off easily and show you what's going on the inside. And unfortunately right now there's not much going on the inside. However, that will change as I progress on building this. But yeah, that is pretty much the progress I've made for this one. This is going to be a pretty quick video, but it's only been a few days since the last video I made, and there's already a ton of progress on this model. Hopefully I can get out another video within about a week. It might take a little longer now because the nose is a little more complex than the fuselage. The fuselage is very repetitive, whereas the nose is something that's a little bit more of an art, a little bit more of a fine art, if you will. So yeah, hopefully I will have a video out on the nose very soon here, at least the rough outlines of the nose. So again, very quick update today. I just wanted to share with you guys some progress that I've made to the 777, and yeah, I hope to have more coming out on this model very, very soon indeed. That's all I really have for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and bye for now.